welcome to another episode of Green Card Insights, where we cover updates related to employment-based green cards. So in today's video, we'll be going over our monthly Visa Bulletin review, where I'll go ahead and share my screen so that we can compare the Visa Bulletin from January 2025 and February 2025 to see what changes there are, if any. Here you can see that we are looking at the Visa Bulletin for January 2025. And then as I switch over, it is the Visa Bulletin for February 2025. On first glance, you can very quickly see that there are absolutely no changes in Table A, which is the final action dates for employment-based preference cases. So from January 2025 to February 2025, there are almost no changes except for some very, very modest movement, I believe, for India. So you can see in January 2025's Visa Bulletin, India was at 1st of October 2012 for the EB2 category. And now in February, we see very, very little movement to 15 October 2012 for the EB2 category. So barely any movement here for the final action dates chart. Now we'll move on to the dates for filing chart, which is Table B. And with Table B as well, you can see that there are absolutely no changes whatsoever to the dates for filing or the employment-based category. Perhaps the biggest change with the release of this month's Visa Bulletin has actually been, let me go ahead and share my screen here. As I switch tabs, you can see that USCIS updates this particular page every month upon the release of the Visa Bulletin. And you can see here that they, dictate essentially which adjustment of status filing chart we should look at when determining whether we are able to file an adjustment of status application for you. So you can see under the current month's adjustment of status filing charts for employment-based preference filings, they allowed us to use the dates for filing chart in the Department of State Visa Bulletin, meaning that we could use Table B. And this has been the case for, I want to say, at least the last 6 months. So we've been using Table B to determine when we can file an adjustment of status application. The biggest change, and this is not a welcome change for most, is that next month's adjustment of status filing charts for the employment-based preference filings, we must use the final action dates chart. And so what that means is that we must use Table A to proceed with filing an adjustment of status application, meaning that we no longer will be using Table B when determining whether we are able to file an adjustment of status application. This is not a welcome change just because of the fact that historically and normally, the typical case is for the final action dates chart to be more retrogressed than the dates for filing chart. So what that means is, the dates for filing chart had progressed in some ways in terms of the dates. So to kind of present an example here, if we look at an EB2 case, right? So we're looking at employment-based, and then we're looking at the second row because EB2, under all chargeability areas except those listed, it says 1st of April, 2023. So 1st of April, 2023 for Table A. Table B says for the same row, same category, it says 1st of August, 2023. So you can see that there's a gap between, 1st of April, 2023, 1st of August, 2023. So what that means is that we are able to file an adjustment of status application if your priority date is on or before 1st of August, 2023. Now, what's happening is that with next month's Visa Bulletin, we will have to look at Table A. And so we'll have to go all the way back to April so that you can only file an adjustment of status application if your priority date is on or before 1st of April, 2023. There definitely was some discontent with switching over to the final action dates chart to determine when you can file an AOS, because a lot of folks relied on using Table B to file their adjustment of status application so that they could at least get work authorization and travel authorization in advance before their final green card was approved. So that is the not so great news. However, I mean, this is a trend that we've observed in the past as well. And I think that in a couple of months, hopefully, USCIS will switch back to using Table B, which is the dates for filing chart for employment-based visa applications. So that about concludes all of the updates for February 2025's Visa Bulletin. Definitely stay tuned, subscribe to this channel if you'd like to be in the know and receive further updates on next month's Visa Bulletin.